साई माता पिता दिन बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में साई मेरा कोटि pranam. Offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan. Respected elders, my dear brothers and sisters, my humble Sai Ram to you all, and a very good morning. Let me start with a very, very interesting story. A couple of years back, it was in the year 2014. Our Swami blessed this little boy of 17 years with his divine will to bring him into his fold. That year, in the month of December, he called him, his mother, and his brother to his holy sanctum sanctorum in Prashanti Nilayam. The first glance of Swami got tears in his eyes. Of course, he never had any faith in Swami. For him, Swami was just a magician. When he saw Swami, and as we all know, Swami just glides. One glance of Swami and he just burst out in tears. He was crying. There were tears of sorrow and joy at the same time, satisfaction and fulfillment, and tears of hatred. He was telling, Swami, why I didn't accept you, why I didn't understand you, Swami. And then, one glance of Swami, one sweet smile, and it was as if Swami told him from within, my dear, if I will, whatever I will prevails. So whatever Swami wants will happen to us. A couple of years later, innumerable opportunities presented to him. He got to sing bhajans in his presence. He got to speak in his presence. And today, my dear brothers and sisters, he's standing right in front of you and speaking to you. You know, even as I'm telling this, it's just like goosebumps. So, let's get straight into the summer course. You know, I always had this prayer, I had these little desires to Swami, and he would always fulfill. So I had this one desire, Swami, please Swami, I want to come for summer course. But then, all of a sudden, he gave me an information from somehow, my dear child, it is only for my students. I said, Swami, I'm also your student. And then lo and behold, within a couple of days, a message popped up in my phone, WhatsApp group, summer course in Indian culture and spirituality, 50 years celebration of the Brindavan campus. What greater opportunity can it be, my dear brothers and sisters, for all of us? And I signed up, I came here, and it was absolutely amazing. A couple of points that I just want to share, my personal experiences in the last couple of days. The first thing is, as I started it out, if he wills, his will prevails. We can try as much as we want, but we cannot go against him, can we? The second, of course, I used to tell Swami, I have these amazing imaginary conversations with Swami. I've never had his physical presence, but somehow I feel I'm lucky. Because those who have, the opportunity to experience his physical form will probably be attracted to his physical form only. The beautiful way he glides, the beautiful way he will express himself. But do we really concentrate on his teachings? For me, it's such an amazing opportunity that Swami is there through each and every single one of you in this present hall, ladies and gentlemen. It is Swami who is speaking to me all the time, whether it's the teachers, whether it's the students, whether it's the esteemed guests sitting here. Every single one is Swami. So Swami is never gone, he's always there. The best thing is he's always there within. The third point, of course, beautifully explained by Swami, he tells us about the 3 R's. The first thing I think we all do, we read and we listen. The second thing, also to some extent we do, we reflect. But the third thing becomes a little difficult. It's called the regular application. I'll give you a very interesting example. Yesterday we had an amazing talk on Ramayana, and there we had these 2 principal characters of Rama and Ravana. Now Ravana had 10 heads, 6 Shastras and 4 Vedas, dear brothers and sisters. But what is that one small difference that made him a devil, and Rama the divine epitome of grace? Lord Rama used to implement, he used to practice his divinity, but Ravana couldn't. Of course, the last part, There are two things. First is dreams turned into reality. When we went for the Trai session, and I just told Swami, please give me an opportunity to sing a bhajan. And Swami just decided, hey, you play the kanjira, man. Let others sing. You've sung enough. So he decides and he gives. Whatever he gives is our prasadam. That is obviously the food for the soul. The food for the body, when we did all those social service activities, I'm sure we all must have loved it, right? I mean, we are all from different parts of the country, and yet we are smiling and doing the same work with so much of enthusiasm and energy. And then, of course, the last part is the food for the mind. I mean, brothers and sisters, have you observed the hospital? It's as if Swami is standing with his arms folded and telling, come, my child, I'll heal you. Tell me, my dear brothers and sisters, in which other hospital will you find an open heart surgery patient who is absolutely unconscious the very next day jogging? It's amazing, isn't it? If it is not Swami's grace, then what is it? I would like to end with one small message, my dear brothers and sisters. Swami is ready to give us whatever we ask for. And as our dear brother Arvind Balasubramaniam sir explained day before yesterday, we need to have the yearning. I promise you, every single thing that you yearn, however little it can be, if it is for him, he will give. He has to give. He has been given me ever since I started worshipping him. Thank you. May Lord bless us all. Jai Sai Ram.